Hello and welcome to the Singing Revolution, an exhibition organized by the Lithuanian Music of Theater, Music and Cinema. My name is Dario Martinelli, I'm a musicologist and I was the curator of the exhibition. I'd like to tell you a few words about this exhibition, why we did it, for whom, and to navigate you a little bit into the website and how it works and how you can enjoy the full experience. So first of all, what is the Singing Revolution? Most of you probably know it already. It's a period that goes roughly from 1987, 1988 till 1991, 1992. We decided to cover the whole range. And it corresponds to the last years of independence movement in Lithuania and in the other Baltic states, in which finally independence and freedom was achieved. However, unlike the past, where some failed attempts of achieving independence were attempted, this time there was a different strategy, and instead of embracing weapons and trying to fight against the Soviet regime, Lithuania and the other Baltic states adopted a soft power strategy, combining political actions and movements with artistic, intellectual, musical, cultural actions. And the Singing Revolution is exactly an expression that was coined to describe this phenomena. So instead of embracing weapons, people embraced guitars, embraced pens, embraced microphones, and that turned out to be a more effective strategy. And finally, Lithuania and the other Baltic states managed to achieve their independence. We tried to do the exhibition for a different range of public. First of all, of course, we wanted people to discover the Singing Revolution. So anybody who is interested or curious about these years can visit our exhibition and possibly learn something new. We also think that maybe some scholars who are researching into the independence movement in general and the Singing Revolution in particular could be interested in this as a support, at least, to their research. But I think most of all, at least as far as I'm concerned, we like the idea that some people will rediscover the Singing Revolution. Of course, many of the people who will visit the exhibition are already aware of it. But maybe it's a good occasion to rediscover that spirit, that sentiment, the emotions and the artistic output of that period. And it's a spirit that we think is still very relevant nowadays. In fact, it's probably even more relevant nowadays than ever. And probably that's also the message and something that made me very proud to be part of this project. We are accustomed to an idea of history that is based on wars, aggressions, or violent acts. And we tend to overlook all the instances in history where big results were achieved peacefully or through beautiful tools such as art and music. So we like the spirit very much of the Singing Revolution, and we like the message that it conveys in the way independence and freedom was achieved. So I hope you will enjoy the exhibition, and please let me guide you a little bit into the website. So, this is how the page appears, the home page. Of course, you can access it through the home page of the museum. As you can see already, the aesthetics, we try to reproduce a little bit the visual impression of those days in terms of colors and objects, as you will see later. And there are three ways of experiencing this exhibition. You can enjoy these different experiences separately, or, as we recommend, you can do it together. So let's scroll down. You will find a little introduction to the exhibition and to the Singing Revolution in general. And you can choose exactly your experience. So as you can see, three objects that were very typical of those days. So there is a section called Exhibition. which is the closest thing to a real exhibition, to actually visiting the museum and going room by room and reading the panels and the photographs and so on. There is a section called Timeline, which is the quickest way of experiencing the exhibition, and there is a music room. So I will tell you a little bit about all of them. Let's start with Timeline, which, as I said, is the quickest form of enjoying the exhibition. And this is just a chronological list of the main events of the Singing Revolution. In very short sentences, you will be introduced to the history. And you can just go through and read until the end. As we said, we decided to finish our chronological span in 1992. So this is for those of you who will want to just have a quick glimpse and just spend a few minutes in the exhibition. Or for those who will have the full experience, you can use this as a reference list of the main events. If we go to exhibition, we'll go to the main core of this project. So you have different rooms from background in 1987, 88, 89, 90, 91, and then two special rooms called Daily Life in Lithuania and Why Remember the Singing Revolution. I'll show you a few examples. So if we open the background in 1987, so as opposed to the timeline, which is arranged in chronological order, each of these rooms is organized by theme. So in this case, you have a little bit of historical background, then the beginning of the Singing Revolution, what made it unique in Lithuania as compared to the other Baltic states, and the first edition of the Rock March. So let's open this one, for instance, so you can see how each panel looks like. There will be an introduction to the topic, and there is a picture gallery, which of course you can enlarge. Let's take some other rooms as example. So let's see the two special ones. This is something we enjoyed very much preparing. It was a lot of fun. It's called Daily Life in Lithuania. And it pictures an average apartment of those days and a few objects that were typically used that really characterized the culture and the daily life. So I'm sure you will recognize a lot of objects here. A Lithuanian proud product was the Šilelis TV set. I'm sure you remember that. Or the Baltic Virus bicycle. It's interesting that some of these objects actually came back to fashion thanks to the cyclic nature of fashion itself, but also how the hipster trend is reconsidering these objects. For instance, the Inkers sneakers are nowadays can be again found in shops, of course at a much bigger price as before, but you can. And I'm sure many households still have this collection of the Library of World Literature, 120 titles of literature classics translated in Lithuanians that were exactly published in those days, starting from 1986, etc. You can, of course, enjoy the full list. And finally, a look also at the room Why Remember the Singing Revolution, which is simply a slideshow of Lithuania nowadays after the independence in its current splendor, with just a little message from all of us about the significance of the Singing Revolution, what I was mentioning before. Finally, the music room is a jukebox of 24 songs or other musical pieces that were central and very significant during the Singing Revolution. So it could be music written in those days, but also written before and that acquired special relevance in the period of the Singing Revolution. So again, you will find some introduction to learn a little bit more about that, but most importantly, you'll have the song playlist, of course with a cassette representing the list. And you can browse through the songs and, for instance, select one. Let's say we can take Kardiofonas Kalėdinė eglutė, a big success in those days. So you will be able to play the song, and while the song is playing, you can actually read an introduction to the song itself and the lyrics available in both Lithuanian and English. So we hope this will be an enjoyable experience for all of you. Thank you very much for the attention, and have a nice time.